Okay, today we're talking about lesson 8.5, where we're going to be finding the area of circles and composite shapes. So let's take a look at the warm-up. All right, it says find the area of both squares. So even though they only give you one dimension, they are telling you that they're squares, which means all the sides here would be 8, and every side here would be 4. Okay, so I'm just going to put small and big. Okay, so for the small one, it would be 4 times 4, which would be 16 square units, because you are finding area. And then for the big one, it would be 8 times 8, which would be 64 square units. And then it says find the area of the shaded region. So when I did 8 times 8 to get 64, that was for the entire shape. But if I just want the shaded region, I have to subtract this white part, the white square, from the whole square in order to find the area of just the smaller one. I mean, of the shaded one. So that would be 64 minus 16, which is going to give you, let's see, 48 square units. All right, pretty simple there. Okay, finding the area of a circle. If r is the radius of a circle, then area equals pi radius squared. Now, do not confuse that with what we did earlier yesterday in a lesson, because we did 2 times the radius. Don't confuse that. It must be r squared, okay? Which means r times r. All right, so when you're ready to do this, take a look at example 1. Find the area of a circle with a radius of 9. That means you're going to do pi times 9 squared. And of course, as usual, you'll be rounding. Okay, and when you round that, you will get 254.5. And even though I know it's strange, you're still going to say, oh no, it's not units. My bad, because it tells right there it's centimeters. Okay. And even though I know it's strange because you are dealing with a circle, you're still going to say square, okay? Even though you're dealing with a circle, because area, remember, deals with the flat surface, like we talked about the square tiles in our floor here in our classroom, okay? So you're still going to be talking about square centimeters. Anytime it's area, it's always going to be square. All right, so we have here, find the area of a circle with a diameter of 12. Okay, so that means the radius is going to be 6. Be very careful of that, okay? So you would do pi times 6 squared. And then be sure to round that, so you would get 113.1. This is feet, so square feet. All right. Now, look at example 3. A circle is inscribed in a square. Each side of the square is 10 centimeters long. What is the area of the circle? Now, this looks just like the circle we had in lesson 8.4. So remember, as long as it goes the entire length of it, which it does, make sure the circle is the entire length. That means your diameter is going to be 10 as well, which means your radius is going to be 5. So be very careful there, because to find the area, you would do pi times 5 squared. And then just be sure to round it. So you would get 78.5. Let's see, this is centimeters, so square centimeters. Just remember, every time you're doing area, it is squared. Now it tells me to find the area of the shaded region. Now this is just like what we did earlier, except now, in our warm-up, except now we have a circle and a square. So I know that the area of the entire square would be 10 times 10, okay, which is going to be 100, all right? And they did tell me centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters for the whole thing. But then I have to subtract the area of the circle to get just the area of that shaded. So I would take 100 and subtract 78.5. And that would give me 21.5 square centimeters. Okay, let's take a look now at the back when we're dealing with finding the area of composite shapes. Now this is where you can, and you can do it several different ways, it depends. But it's just take your time on this. What you need to do is find a way to split it off into shapes that you are able to apply a formula to, and then you're able to add them all up to figure out the area of the total shape. So I'm going to split it off there and there, okay? Now I can see here that if I have an entire, let's see, this rectangle, I'm going to label this as 1, and then this small triangle 2, and this other triangle 3. So we're actually going to have 3 shapes, and then once we find the area of each one of those, we'll add them together to get the area of the entire figure. All right, so I can tell if this is 25 and this is 15, that would encompass the correct measurements for this rectangle. So that's going to be 25. I'm going to write that down just for those of you that are not here. 25 times 15. That would be the area of that rectangle, which would be 375. And let's see, it does not tell me what we're dealing with, so that's going to be units. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Now take a look at number 2. Let's see here. This piece is 12. This piece is 5. And the entire thing here is 25. So if this piece is 12 and this is 5, 12 plus 5 is 17. So then I'm going to subtract 17 from 25, and I will get 8. So that means 8 is going to be the height of that triangle right there. So the formula for the area of a triangle is 8 times 5, base times height, divided by 2. 8 times 5 is 40, divided by 2. So that's going to be 20. All right, now take a look at this triangle. I know the base is 5. What would the height be? So if the entire thing here is 15 and this piece is 10, that means this is 5. So that would be base times height, divide by 2, 12.5. Okay, now I just need to take 375 plus 20 plus 12.5, and that gives me 407.5 square units for the entire shape area. Okay, so take a look at example 6 now. Find the area of the figure below. You may assume all sides are perpendicular. All right, so this one, let's see. I'll put that line right there. And then I can also put a line right there. So what I'm dealing with is one large one here, and then a smaller one here. So I'm going to have 3 figures once again. And then you just add them together. So look really carefully here. I need this to figure out the area because it's base times height. So if this is 1 and then this is 1, and then this is 2. That's 2, 3, 4. So this is also 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Doesn't tell me, so it's units. Okay, now this small one here, if this piece is 1, that means this piece is 1. So this length is 2 for this here. And then times 1, so 2 times 1 equals 2. Well, that's pretty simple. And then I have this really skinny rectangle here, which is 1, and the length is 4. So that would be 4 times 1, which would be 4. Okay, and then you just add 16 plus 2 plus 4, and you get 22 square units for the area. Now let's take a look at our last one. Find the area of the figure below. You may assume all sides are perpendicular. All right, so what you have here is just 2 triangles, okay? Formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I have, obviously, 2 triangles. And this one I can do base times height. That's not a problem. So that's going to be 4 times 3 divided by 2. So that would be 6 for the smaller one. Now, to do this larger triangle, I can do base, but I don't know the height. Okay, you can see there, I don't know that. So yet again, told you guys you'd use Pythagorean theorem a lot. You need to do Pythagorean theorem to find that hypotenuse. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. That's going to be 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 9 plus 16 is 25. Remember, I don't want c squared, I want c, so I'll need to do the square root. So c equals 5. So that lets me know this is 5. Now I have my base and my height. 6 times 5 divided by 2. That would be 30 divided by 2, so 15. That's the area for that shape. And then I just add the 2 of them together, and I get 21 square units. Just take your time on the composite shapes. Take your time on those. You may need to refer to your notes. If you don't, I mean, I kind of have all the formulas memorized just because I do them so much. But if you're not ever sure, please to check your notes to make sure you're doing the right formula. And that concludes our lesson.